Hey guys, it's your boy Bone here. I'm in the lab. Today I am working on something a little out of the box. This is a Berkley Jensen outdoor heating lamp. I bought this at BJ's. I like to spend my summers outside, but we're in New England and sometimes the summers get a little cold. So I grabbed this right here. I'm going to assemble that step by step. And if you need me, I'm here for you guys. Alright, so this is step one. Okay, you have 3 of these. Those bolts come in the same bag that these pieces come in. There's 6 of them, 10 millimeter on both sides. Okay, so this is the image. That's the dish in this direction right here. You'll have 2 wide holes. I put those in the same corner over here. Those are for the wheels. Then you have the 3 tabs coming up, attached. They look like this. So these are 14 millimeter on the inside and out. The bolts go through the outside onto the inside with a washer. These ones don't have washers because they have this built-in washer. And that's step 1. Alright, step 2. You see the dish is now flipped over with the wheels in the back. Then obviously it's got those 3 poles. Those are all facing inside. I'll show you what that looks like. So if you notice in step 2 that it does not have these. Now these are used to tie down. Say you wanted to attach it to your deck, or you wanted to put some stakes through it so that you could put this attached to the ground. That's what these are for. So these are optional. If you plan on moving it around a lot, or you plan on not keeping it in one space, then these aren't necessary, which is why in the photo here, you don't see them there. All right, you can see in this example here where they use a bolt to attach it to nothing. That's whatever you want to do with it. You can put stakes into the dirt, you could put screws into your deck, you could put lag bolts through it. As long as it fits through this hole, you can use it to attach it to something. If you wanted to do like drill a hole and put it into concrete using some concrete screws, you could do that as well. But these are optional, which is why you don't see it in any of the other pictures. So don't get scared. It is optional. Now, in step 2, we're using M8 by 16, 3 of them. If you look over here, it's these top 3, M8 by 16, 3. So you're using those to attach these poles onto here. Now there are 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3. You don't need a nut on the other side of these because these are already attached. If you look on the back here, that's where they'll be screwed into. Okay, so here's the 3 assembled. Now these are hand tight so that I can turn this. Alright, they're not tightened down all the way. They're not tightened down so that they're in their permanent position. I'll come back and tighten those down after we reach, let me see, step 4. I want to attach these. Once all of those are attached, then I will tighten down these all the way to make sure that I have these at the right angle, because you see, as soon as they turn, they come off angle. So if I get these into the general spot of where I think they might be, attach all of those plate to that plate, then come back and tighten these down. It'll make my life a lot easier. Here, so we're moving on to step 3 now. It's these 2 poles. I have them right here. The one with the flange comes down the bottom, and then the straight one is up at the top. Now we're using 4 of the 3/16. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna look at that. Read down the bottom. We have 4 3/16. Now with mine, it's underneath the plastic and it's all jumbled inside, but you can count these out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's hidden. There it is. So we're gonna grab those out. Again, so these are already tapped. I'm not sure if you can see the threads on camera, but you will not need nuts on this. And these are going to slide into that. And you can see the hole. Try to line those up. Once you get all 4 lined up, then you can tighten that down. Let's see. Yeah, this one's a little off. So we're going to rotate that around until all 4 of them line up. Alright, so I attached those 4. I put a little caulk in there. This is the waterproof silicone. Only because the top goes in and leaves this little notch. If it was reversed, I wouldn't use anything. But this is going to be outside. I'd like it to last a while. So I definitely put some caulk all the way around the inner rim and then a glob on each nut. I'm probably going to put some paint on these as well, just to make it last. You know, it wasn't very expensive, but at the same time, I like things to last. Now we're on step 4. We're going to attach these to the top of this. So we have 3 here, 3 tabs at the bottom, and we're going to line those up with these 3 here. So that's going to sit on top. We're going to be using these. Now in the book, it says bolt M6 by 30, 6 of them. Over here, it does not say M6 by 30, but they are referring to these ones. You can see that support legs for the main pole assembly. That's these bolts. All right, so I went around and I put 1 in each on the outside. Now it has 3 holes and I used the front 2. Not sure why that second hole is there yet. We'll probably have to use it later. But now, after I'm done with that, I put in the other set of 3 all the way around and tighten this up. Then remember, we left these ones loose, so I went around and tightened those afterwards. Don't forget that step. Now on to step 5. Take this piece, slide it over the top, place it on the base. Okay, I did that. Put this through the hole. Again, there is a bit of a gap here. Now I'm gonna leave this outside. I don't want water building up in this. I feel like it's gonna run down this pole and go into there. It does have some drain holes, but I don't want the drain holes to work that hard. So I might end up sealing this up and then putting on some type of door here so that I can open this up, put the new propane tank in and remove it, as opposed to lifting this every single time I need to put in a new propane tank. I feel like that's a bit of a design flaw with this. It could be easy to just cut this along this side, put in a couple of hinges and a door handle, some type of latching mechanism on this side so that I can open and close that. But that's a video for a different day. Right now we're just assembling. So we're on to step 6. We're looking for FF, which is these double-ended nuts and 8 washers. So when we go over here, you have these, the double-ended ones, and the washers. Let's see, we have 9 large washers, and then we have 9 small ones. These ones are that symbol 6, and we need that symbol 8. This doesn't have that symbol on it, but these are larger, and of course 6 is smaller than 8, so I'm gonna go ahead and use these ones. So these are those double-ended. I put one into the nuts that are built in with the washer, as you can see. Tighten those down, and now we can move on to the bottom right there. So I remove those, all 4. Again, this is threaded, so you're not going to need a nut. And we can get ready for the next step. Step 7, we're going to feed this line into the top of the pole and then attach it with the screws that we just removed from here. Again, you're not going to need a nut. All you need is this inside, and that'll clamp it onto that pole. Okay, I have this installed. Again, I put in a bead of silicone all the way around and went over every single nut and just filled in these holes, because these holes are ovals and the head of the bolt does not cover the entire oval. So I just filled that in, again, so no water gets in, no bugs, no bees decide to make this a nest, no entryway. Clean that up. And that's just me. You know, you do what you want. You know, I'm not saying that this is something that you guys have to do. It's just something that I chose to do because I feel like for me and mine, I want it to be waterproof. If you look down here, you know, there's obviously a big hole in here. So I might do something about that. But for the most part, everything else is pretty much sealed up. Again, I'm gonna seal this. I don't really like how this is sealed. I just want to protect this from the weather. It's got this nice coating on it, which I feel is gonna protect the metal. It looks great. I think it's beautiful. I love how shiny it is. But I feel like, you know, metal gets water in it and it gets trapped, and that's when it starts to rust. And I want to protect this because I like it. We're on to step 8. Make sure you read the warning. remove the plastic. These are blue, but in actuality, it's just a plastic protective coating. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. As you can see, it's silver underneath. And, you know, plastic and fire don't mix. So, take the blue plastic coating off before you install these. Alright, so that's step 8. Get it all off. The hardest parts of these corners. I found that if you work your way this way, take care of all of this area first, working your way towards the edge, then peeling it off. It's a lot easier to get it out of the corners, but that's probably the most annoying part of the build. It's weak plastic and strong adhesive, so just take your time, make sure you get it all off. You don't want any plastic melted in the crease or, you know, any scraps left on top. Try to get it as clean as possible, because, again, like I said, plastic and fire don't mix. Alright, so we're on to step 9. So this is rim, dome up, with the screws coming in from the bottom. Let's see if you can see that. With a dress nut on top. So we have the dress nuts here, the screws that are going into the dress nut, and the washers. So you have the aught 6 and the aught 6 are right there. Alright, so this is step 9. I just want to point out that we're only doing the outside. Alright, so you're only using 3 right now to put this ring together. You know, don't attach the inside ring. Okay, so on this, it's this one right here. Okay, I overlap these ones. That one's got a down lip. Overlap them, put it through the hole. Only do the outside 3 for step 9. So this is what it looks like when step 9 is done. Alright, I only hand tighten these so that we can get a little play if need be. Like this one doesn't exactly line up 100%, so when I'm putting the screws in, I want to have that play so that I can line those up perfectly to attach the top plate, which moves us on to step 10. Alright, where you're going to use the same set. The screw, the decorative washer or decorative nut, and the washer to assemble the top plate, which is right there. Okay, now all of these are hand tight. Okay, I do not tighten something like this that has multiple screws in it until I have all of them in place, because if I tighten this one and that's the first one I put in, it might make it difficult for that one to go in, and that will carry over to the other side. You may get lucky and do it perfectly, but for me, it works best if you put them all in hand tight and then go back and tighten them down with the proper torque. All right, now we are on to final step 11. So we have 6 washers, here. And then we have 3 wing nuts that are left. And you are going to sandwich these holes with washers and a wing nut. Now those, get up the ladder, are going on top. You see the unit? It's going on top. So you put a washer down on each. After you put the washer down, then put the cover, and then on top of that, the wing nut. All right, so that's completed. Don't mind the 442 in the back. That's the next project going on. But I realize if you just set it on one of these brackets, put it behind the screw, it sits up there pretty nicely. I shouldn't have too many issues with applying a propane tank. So the door may not come. We shall see. All right, guys. This is not for use inside. I have an indoor heater. It works well. But I just wanted to test it. I'm in a massive garage, 50 by 30. You might not be in a garage like this size. I don't recommend using it. The company does not recommend you using it indoors. I hope this video helps you. Follow all the warning signs and follow all the warning labels. If you don't feel confident hooking up your propane tank, call somebody. But I hope this helps you out. And on to the next one. Peace.